If you guys enjoy this, watch the full video on Patreon for just $5 a month, a cup of coffee, so that I don't have to close the channel. Don't forget, if you like this, hit the like button and subscribe. Let's begin with the video. If you guys like to learn more about this, we send these newsletters every now and then by just clicking in the description down below. It says get your free audiobook and ebook. We're gonna have Paulina read it for me, okay? So say hello, Paulina.
Hi, hi.
All right, so go ahead.
Okay. When a man realizes he has no power over you, that's when he begins to see your real value. And having no power over you doesn't mean you're cold, but that you are able to snap out of the trance of infatuation and think clearly when you see red flags.
So when he realizes he has no power over you, what does it mean no power? Well, when you're not codependent on him, right? When you don't depend on your happiness for his validation.
Okay.
Now, there's nothing wrong with depending on somebody. But when you're chronically unhappy, anxious, you have you're always depressed, and you have no other way to feel better about yourself other than being with someone to lift your mood, you're never going to attract a guy who's going to treat you for who you are.
Yeah, of course.
You're never going to attract a guy who's going to love you for who you are. And that will keep accumulating throughout your whole life, that the next one is going to be worse,
Mhm.
and it's going to be worse and worse and worse. And when he has when he has power over you, he sees no worth in you. Well, because one, a good guy, when he realizes that you're codependent, he's gonna try to empower you,
Okay. Yeah.
right? He's not gonna take advantage of your weaknesses.
Yeah, of course.
But if you're codependent, you're not gonna meet that guy because that guy might seem boring.
Okay.
He might not
Yeah.
be toxic enough for you.
Oh, wow.
You know?
Yeah, yeah, of course. So, like, it's going to be like it's an addiction, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because when you, I don't know, when you have an addiction, it's like, okay, I'm sad all the time and whatever. And then I don't know, I do drugs and I feel happy for a moment. But when the drug is not there, I'm anxious again. So I
Exactly.
want the drug all the time.
Yeah, and the addiction and because it is true, because codependency is literally addiction to people,
Okay.
and that addiction comes from emptiness,
Mm.
like an emptiness you feel inside. You don't know why you feel empty, but you've always felt that way. Well, it was because when you were a child, you had needs, and your parents never met your needs, so that emptiness was never removed. So
Mhm.
you grew up with that feeling. It's like I have tinnitus. You know what tinnitus is?
Uh-huh.
Zzz, and I developed that like 3 years ago. But then there are people who have tinnitus their whole life that they don't know that they have tinnitus because that's how they've always been.
Whoa, yeah.
Until somebody tells them that they have tinnitus, which is bullshit. Don't tell them that, right? If they don't know it's a problem, it's not a problem,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
But they live with that feeling. They live with that tinnitus, and they don't know any other way. And so this feeling was in your childhood. For example, when you were a kid, your parents, maybe you were sad and you wanted comfort from your parents. They tried to give you comfort, but maybe they were too impatient.
Oh,
And the comfort they gave you was an impatient type of comfort. And when they gave it to you, you're like, fuck it, man. You try to help and you make it worse.
oh,
And then they leave you alone. But then when they leave you alone, you're sad because you're like, I wasn't helped.
mhm.
You go back, they try to make you feel better, but they suck at it. They actually make you feel more anxious. So you're like, don't talk to me. Every time I come to you, I feel bad. But then when you're alone, I instinctively want to go back.
Mhm.
So you go back and forth, and it never gets satisfied. And then you live your whole life. You get into teenagers, and you don't know this emptiness that you feel is not normal
Yeah, of course.
because your body never was taught through your parents' patience to go from unhappiness to happiness.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So your body just doesn't; those pathways were never built.
Oh, yeah.
And so then you unconsciously you become very open-minded actually, because you're so empty that you want new experiences to allow you to escape this feeling.
Well,
So these people can be very open-minded, good if they're artists,
yeah, of course.
good if they're athletes, bad if they're drug addicts.
Yeah.
Bad if they're like codependent people. Well, they become codependent.
Mhm.
And so that's the beginning, the emptiness. And so you get drawn to people who make you feel alive.
Mhm.
meaning toxic people who can make you unhappy and then happy.
Wow. Yeah, of course. Wow, that makes so much sense.
You know, it starts from your parents just not being there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me see.
If you guys enjoyed this video, check out my new course, The Commitment Formula. You could pre-order it right now and you can get it at a discounted rate. This course is meant to help you get out of situationships. This course will help you to get into relationships, to get commitment. I mean, I've gotten a bunch of testimonies of women getting married, even having kids. I mean, a woman came up to me, they're like, look, Father Alex, this is you. I'm like, that's not Father Alex, okay? Father Alex is a spiritual thing. And like, no, I have a kid. And because of your channel, I applied what you did. And now I have a kid. I've seen countless of stories. As toxic as you guys might see me, these strategies work to get commitment. Purchase it right now. There's no gimmicks, there's no games. This is meant to allow you to get the guy that you want, get married, and have kids, and you don't have to watch any other channel after this. Okay? And if you don't like it, just get your money back. Look, this is gonna be the best course I'm ever gonna make. And that says a lot. This is going to be the best course I'm going to make. So pre-order it right now, or else I'm going to have to close the channel. And don't forget, if you guys want to work with me one-on-one, go to mindfulattraction.org right here and book a one-on-one phone call. Take care.
So it says, he notices your strength, your uniqueness, and the fact that he can't bend you the way he used to. Some men can handle that shift. If they can't control you, they'll walk away.
Some men can, though, right?
Mhm.
In fact, some men will say, "Oh wow, she woke up.
Mhm.
Thank God, now I have a good girl."
Oh,
You know, but the guy who want power, they're like, "Yo, fuck this bitch. Like she woke up, I'm leaving her." So now the woman has a choice.
oh yeah.
You know, she either follows him, which he did that. He does that because other women have followed him,
Uh-huh.
or she grows up and finds another way to feel better, or she'll find another relationship. She'll go to, or do drugs, or she might say, "Okay, like I need help." But that's not what happens most of the time. They go back to that guy and they feed his narcissism, and he rewards that behavior with being nice to her, at least for a short time, and then he goes back to being himself.
Wow.
But he never really loved her because he just liked the control he had over her.
Mhm.
And to her, it feels kind of good because at least he pays attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, the good moments feel really good because she's so chronically unhappy that any little bit of happiness feels like an escape.
Yeah.
And so the whole relationship, she'll follow those moments and she'll use that as an excuse to stay because she's like, "Oh, he makes me happy. We have great chemistry."
Uh-huh. But that's not true. It's just like
No.
she's so low that anything can.
Anything can, yeah. But anything that's toxic,
Mm-hmm.
anything that's good, anything that tells her to grow, is boring to her.
Okay.
You know?
Why?
Well, because it's not toxic enough. It doesn't provide a high.
Mm.
It's like people who eat junk food. Like you're used to a certain level of like junkiness, like
Mhm.
that. You need carbs, you need tacos. You can't just eat chicken and vegetables.
Yeah.
You know?
Because something that's not toxic is gonna be like this, right? Like always the same, that it doesn't have high peaks or whatever. So it's not exciting.
Exactly. So this woman will notice that every guy she meets is toxic, and every guy she likes is toxic. But then when the guy likes her, she doesn't like him.
Mm-hmm.
She develops a worldview about men. That all men are assholes, all men are toxic.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's like there's something wrong, and you need to, and it comes from you. You're
Mhm.
attracting that type of guy.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So it was, some men can't handle that shift. If they can't control you, they'll walk away because the power mattered to them more than love ever did.
So they also can't love.
Okay.
You know, these are what you call control freaks, narcissists.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the types of guys that also maybe they felt hurt as children. They weren't loved. Maybe they came from strict parents
Mhm.
and they don't like being controlled.
Mm.
And so they'll grow up and they could be very ambitious, but they're also control freaks.
Yeah, of course.
And these types of guys can develop addictions because addictions also is a matter of control, controlling how you feel.
Oh, you're right.
You know, but also it's controlling the woman.
Mhm.
So they might also develop very misogynistic viewpoints
Mhm.
that validates their controlling nature. And the woman, he'll find a woman who's very submissive
Hmm.
because they're so submissive, he can't respect her.
Okay.
So he can never be with a healthy relationship.
Yeah, of course. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So when they sense that you can wake up from the trance of love, they will scramble to pull you back into that dependent state, recycling the same tricks like coldness, manipulation, threats, just to see if you'll fall for it again.
Mhm.
And if you don't, their frustration grows, sometimes even turning into rage. That's perfect. You're able to see his red flags and walk away. But to walk away takes true self esteem.
Yeah, and what self-esteem? Self-esteem is that you're able to go from unhappiness to happiness on your own.
Okay.
Like you're able to go to sleep, wake up the next day, okay, I feel better today.
Oh,
You're able to somebody insults you and you feel bad, but then you're like, man, my mom, let me call my mom, or man, you know what, that one time I did that, or man, you know what, let me go to the gym and make myself
Mhm.
feel better. So those things, like go to the gym, or maybe you cook something healthy, oh, that felt good, or maybe you watch a movie and that made you feel better. Unhealthy self-esteem is when you need something that's you can't control,
okay.
or something that produces too much dopamine, or something that gives you a boost, but then it comes with a negative.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So even you get a boost, but then it comes with a
With something negative.
yeah. So that means that you may walk away, but you might go to somebody else
Mm-hmm.
to tamp down that feeling,
Yeah, of course.
And no, that's
Yeah.
not true self-esteem. That's making the situation worse. But in order to see that,
Mm-hmm.
you got to develop true self-esteem, and that is really hard to make.
Yeah, of
Like
course.
it's not that it's hard to make, but it requires you to be honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm. So, for example, what you were telling me, people that are with low self-esteem, they can't see the red flags, right?
No, they can't.
They forget. They think like, oh, he's treating me bad, but then they forget what happened.
Yo, yeah, that's a big one. It's codependency is a disease that affects your memory.
Wow.
It affects your memory. Just like addictions also affects your memory.
Mm-hmm.
When you're addicted, you might have lost all of your family. Like gambling addicts is an example where they lose their family, they become sober, and then everything is well. And like, oh, okay, I made money. They're like, well, you know what? Everything's going well. I have control over it. Let me do one little gamble.
Mm.
And then one turns into 2, 3, 4, and then all of a sudden they're back where they started, and they lost everything.
Wow.
And what happens is that your memory when you're addicted, you only can think, and your memory goes as far as the next high. So you only think of one part of the fun, but you don't think further and think about you're going to lose everything
Yeah, of course.
because you have short-term memory. It affects your hippocampus, your capacity to recall memory.
Mm-hmm.
And so this happens with this where you'll forget or reinterpret or lie to yourself, actually.
Okay.
You'll lie to yourself because the pain of being alone hurts too much. So you'll lie and say, oh, he smacked me, but I caused it.
Mm-hmm.
He was pulling away, but it was because I did, I didn't apply the strategies I from Mindful Attractions videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me do it right next time. It's like, nah, like he just doesn't like you. You're not accepting of it, but you're just looking for an excuse to go back.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
So
wow.
it's like, it's really the worst part is the self-deception, the lying to yourself. When you're lying to yourself, it gets really, really bad because you develop a different person on the
Mm-hmm.
inside
Mm-hmm.
that is really good at lying, and that it literally short circuits your memory.
Wow. Wow. I didn't know that. Okay, so it says, where were we?
That's perfect. You already see
Oh,
red
yeah.
flags, self-esteem.
Your inability to control your emotions, to know that you can go from happiness to happiness, will cause you to give in
Given
and
it.
speed things up.
Mhm.
Because deep down,
No.
here,
Right.
because deep down you are dying and you are willing to pay any price for someone to rescue. You can do that and tell people you watch my channel.
You can't do that and tell people you watch my channel.
Yeah, you must become your own inner father. You must learn to suit yourself. This drastically change how you come across without having to learn this tactic or that tactic.
Yeah, you develop emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's really lacking is just emotional intelligence, and emotional intelligence is knowing what's happening
Mm-hmm.
within yourself, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not that you want him back, but it's that you don't know how to make yourself feel happy.
Mhm.
You're lying to yourself about what really happened, you know, and that's why you keep repeating the same behavior, same behavior, same
Yeah, of
behavior,
course.
same guy too,
Mhm.
just a different face. You know, same situation, same dynamic. And you say, why does this keep happening to me? And so what happens? You develop a narrative in your mind.
Wow.
And, oh, wow, oh, woe's me. No guys loves me. No. And so you develop a victim mindset. And then your friends also start to think the same because you attract people who have a similar mindset to you. And so it becomes even more hardened in your mind and even harder to escape that.
Well, like I loved how you put it, like your own
Father.
father, right?
Yeah.
Your own inner father. I like that because, like, I can tell that a lot of girls are searching for a father in the guys that they are dating. And like how you're putting it, I think it's you have to be your own caregiver. And if you are not, you are going to search that in people that they don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah. They see you're searching and
Mhm.
they're like, oh, I could fuck with this person.
Yeah.
Cult leaders do that. Even guys, they have to become their own inner mother.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you got to stop searching for women to clean your room, for women to be your mom,
Mhm.
because then you're gonna attract guys who, well, it depends if you're gay.
Mhm.
You're gonna attract women who are abusive.
Mhm.
You know, and that also, if you want to see, one of the ways to do that is there's a few ways. One, it's the easiest way is to connect with a God. God could become your heavenly Father.
Yeah, of course.
And one of the prayers you could ask God is, help me see myself how you see me,
Mm-hmm.
because how you see yourself is not correct.
Yeah, of course.
It's not correct. God sees you in a way that you may not see yourself,
Okay.
in a way that's more realistic, that you deserve better. This person, you deserve to be treated better. You could do better.
Mhm.
And he cries when he sees you do unnecessary suffering to yourself. And that becomes your own also empathy towards yourself. You could start to love yourself from that. And that love could potentially make you feel better. And now you're starting to develop true self-esteem.
Yeah, and you're not searching for someone to love you. You already love yourself, and like I like you, and then I want to share loves, right?
Exactly. Other ways is through a body scan meditation.
Mhm.
When you don't love yourself, you disconnect from your body
Okay.
because you're in your mind, you're traumatized, you're sad, you're depressed. So you start to fantasize. And when you start to fantasize, you'll notice that you don't feel your body too much,
Okay.
right? You literally don't feel your body.
Mhm.
You disconnect. Disassociation.
That's why they don't eat or they don't
Yeah.
drink water or
They
whatever.
don't drink water, or they start to focus on one part of the body and neglect every part. So, for example, if you smoke weed or smoke cigarettes, crack, your attention is literally here more, and you feel nothing here. Or if you're a sex addict, is literally down there. Or if you have body dysmorphia, it's really your attention is always at the body part that you're dysmorphic about. And so you may not even feel your hand that much because you're almost like your chakras. You're overstimulating one part.
Wow.
So so when you do a body scan meditation, you literally just feel every part of your body, and you stop just focusing on one part. And you almost like take out all of the psychic negative energy that's clogged up. It's almost like a heart clog, or even like a stroke. And you just release that clog, and you allow blood to flow throughout your whole body through the scan. And the scanning produces positive emotions,
What?
releases traumas, and that positive emotion could be called self-love. Then they try to go back because they realize now they're not sucking away your energy.
Okay, wow. So it's the truth is men respect women who stand firm, who can love but still hold their standards and walk away if things don't go your way.
Mhm.
When you stop giving yourself away unconditionally, you stop being seen as weak and start being seen as rare. This is why when you focus on tactics, they rarely work because you are not changing what's driving that needy, creepy behavior.
It's like the morning when you stop doing drugs, you're like, okay, today I'm not going to do drugs. And you don't do it for like 2 hours and then you go
Mhm.
back. That's tactics.
Okay.
Oh, they hold my phone and so I don't text my dealer.
Yeah.
You're not fixing it. You're not really getting at the core.
Mhm.
So that could work for a day or two, but you're gonna go back.
Yeah, of course.
You know.
Wow. So it's not about saying, I don't need a man or being overly submissive. It's about balance. You want a partner, not a man who sees you as less than.
Mm-hmm.
And when a man sees he can take your power, he suddenly fears losing you. The fear of losing you inspires romanticism in a man. He'll treat you like a queen and as an equal.
Mm-hmm. So romanticism is really the thought. Okay, I don't want to lose her, or does she like me?
Mm-hmm.
When you're codependent, your face says, "I like you. I love you right now. I don't even know you."
Yeah.
So
And
there's no need to be romantic. Come over for fucking for Netflix and chill. Like they don't need to impress you.
like you're never going to lose me.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And that's why prostitutes become prostitutes because they're easy to manipulate. You could just say, like, "Oh, come over," and she says yes because she's so desperate for love,
Mhm.
and she doesn't know that you're going to take advantage of her because she's already seeing you as a father.
Mhm.
She already trusts you for no reason.
Yeah, of course. Wow. Wow. So many times you allow your love and desire to be loved to be misinterpreted as a weak, desperate human. You don't notice it because all you're thinking about is getting the next hit of validation. The pain of emptiness is blinding. You can't do that. Open your eyes and stop reacting to your pain and emptiness.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that I had to learn through trial and error. And my dream is for every single one of you, ladies, to internalize this lesson, not by reading, but by acting on it.
Yeah, and that it pretty much becomes a life thing, right?
Mhm.
But most people are not going to do this. They'll read it and they'll just think it's fun, and they won't do it. Why? Because they're once again they think that if they read more information, that'll fix it.
Mhm.
It's like, nah, like you can read this as much as you want. It sounds nice. It makes a lot of sense. But the real action is in confronting those feelings and learning new ways of understanding yourself, and that comes from you, one, not being isolated, because when this happens, these guys isolate you a lot.
Okay,
They
wow.
isolate you from your friends, from your family, even from yourself. And you got to talk to people, talk to someone, therapists, go to codependent groups, because the truth is that if they're in that, they really need help, but they don't see it. They're just, oh, I'm not over him. Oh, this is just, we're having tough times. It's like, no, like you've been traumatized. You may have forgotten you've been traumatized,
Mhm.
and you got to deal with that. So
Wow.
that's just how it is, man.
Well,
Any thoughts?
well, I just think that I didn't know about the practical way of doing it, like the
Scanning?
scanning.
Yeah.
That was great because sometimes we are not aware of ourselves. We are just aware of what's happening outside,
Yeah.
or I don't know. That's why we are just looking for things outside to make us feel better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that.
Yeah, but you got to be careful because sometimes people have too much trauma. And if they do that, they may not have, their brain may not have the capacity to deal with so much trauma, so much load. They could go through a psychotic breakdown.
Okay.
They could have a schizophrenic episode
Wow.
because you could be so traumatized that you can't handle it mentally.
Wow.
So that's another thing. Like they may have psychotic breakdowns.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's why you gotta talk to someone first before they do stuff like that, because it helps if you have some trauma, but some people are fucked up in the head big time. And they're in denial too,
Wow.
because it's stigmatized to be crazy.
Yeah.
So they're in denial. And a lot of crazy people know that, and so they look normal to others and to themselves.
Mhm.
And so they'll never fix it because they're in denial of their craziness. So that's just how it is. All right.